I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. Now all my friends are turning green.
These are challenging times for the family of John and Denise Halloran, better known to everyone as Red and Tiny, two loving souls who have spent most of their lives together.
Oh, and they come on strike, lady.
52 and a half years.
We're 70-something.
Yeah, we're 77. And we met when we were 15, but we didn't date till we were 21.
5 children, and half a century later, their lives inconspicuously began to unravel.
I think since 2014, it was definite that something was going on. And he confided to the boys, not to me, that he thought he was having problems with his memory. Originally, I thought he was depressed. And that was about 5 years ago. And we went to the doctor, and he put him on an antidepressant, and he seemed to get a little bit better. Originally, he was diagnosed with MCI, mild cognitive impairment. And then a year later, it moved on to early Alzheimer's.
Tiny became the caregiver, a 24-hour-a-day responsibility that piled on top of her an enormous amount of stress, tension, and pressure.
I think the hardest part is watching my parents' relationship change it's been a pretty negative experience for the two of them.
It was definitely taking a big toll on my mom. She had a heart attack about 2 years ago while he was still at the house, and I call it the caregiver's heart attack because it's just so stressful.
Every time I think I'm fine, then I break down. I just feel bad that my dad's going through what his mom and his sister went through, and he's such a proud man. And he was so angry about this disease.
We were always together at the table, and so my dad would maybe ask a question over and over and over again, and the kids would say, "Grandpa, you already asked that," or why does he keep forgetting? And I'd say, well, he's got this disease.
Excuses and explanations went on for a couple of years until it became clear that home care was not enough.
He fell in our bathroom, which is all tile, and he hit his head, and we had to go to the emergency room. And he was there for 5 hours. They did a CT scan, and anyway, we came home, and they told us we should get the house evaluated. And he fell the next morning. We were back in the emergency room.
Just seeing him physically start to fail, and he's always been such an athletic, outgoing person and always able to do anything he set his mind to. I think it's just really sad.
Making the decision to move Red into a memory care facility was tough for many reasons, but primarily because of guilt.
There's no way I could take care of him anymore. I used to be really strong, and I'm not so strong anymore.
It's really hard on my mom, too. And it's sad to see her suffering as well. We're all afraid she's gonna have another heart attack from her stress, and she feels guilty. We all feel guilty.
He saw his mom go through it and has always said to us, never put me in a home, never, I don't want to end up like that. And we're here. And I know it's not my fault that we're here, but he lived with me. So now that he lives here, it's still, I still feel very, very guilty for being a part of taking him away from his family. But I know he's safer here, and I know this is absolutely the right place for him to be.
And Alzheimer's support groups have been vital.
Oh, the support group is wonderful. I started going probably 3 years ago, maybe 3, I think, at Park Place. And they have this giant table with about 20 people sitting around it. And I think my spouse, out of all the spouses, was at the earliest stage. Everybody else, was much more advanced. And So I was like the new kid on the block, but I felt like God was sitting in the middle of the table. There's a lot of wisdom in these support groups, and they're the only people who really understand what you're going through.
These four have done most of the work. You know, Juan's out in Colorado and I'm in Pennsylvania. So for us, it's more mental, I guess, because we're not here to actually go to the hospital and stuff. But couldn't be more proud of what they've done.
But there is also reason for hope.
We're always going to be here for him no matter what. Even if there's a fall in the middle of the night, we're going to be here.
I've noticed it's more important to like when I see him to really hug him and like touch him, because I know that there's research that helps them a lot, remember who you are and stuff like that.
And surprisingly, Red has begun painting, a dormant talent which has blossomed into a new gift of expression.
I think he walked around with the painting in his hand for 2 days.
And while there is reason for hope on one hand, there is also sadness on the other.
You deserve so much more than this. And it just takes everything from you and your dignity and pride. And he did so good for all of us.
My oldest is 21, so I would hope in 30 years, yes, there's going to be a cure for this.
I got a lump in my throat 'cause